everybody, and welcome to this stream of Star Rupture. This will hopefully be the last installment of the early access. We'll cover over what we've been up to over the last week. Welcome to this. It's been a eventful week, just lots going on in the background, so I haven't streamed, lots of noise, renovations, other things going on, so I have been slowly plotting away in the background. Nothing overly exciting, just mainly builds and spending a lot of time just letting these buildings produce and sort of get to where we need to be. A lot of what we're doing now isn't required, it's just more for practicing for the late game, for what comes after the early access. So there's still a lot more to build, still a lot more to do in this game that they're not releasing yet, which is fantastic. They're just giving us a bit of a teaser, getting people in and having a feel of what the game's about. So just going to quickly finish off setting up a couple of the things in the chat and we will get into it. One of the main things we're going to be covering today is obviously the end of the early access and what we have to do for that. The other thing we're going to be covering in this is the builds, where we've got to and why we've sort of built and gone the way I have. So I'm more of a completionist, so I do love to really focus on getting everything done, regardless of whether it's required or not. Just ticking everything off is just how I like to go about my games, is make sure I'm getting everything out of them. Now that can come down to just as simple as the food, for instance. So, making sure we get all of our food buffs. Sorry, I'll just get them down here. So, things that I've been doing this week in the background is just plodding around and collecting all the different types of fruits just to tick off some of these. Some are, obviously more required than others, so working at that definitely is important. Just got to finalize my stuff out here on Twitch. That for now. Alright, here we go. So just trying to make sure I've got all the different chats up so I'm not missing anything, hopefully. Had a bit of an issue last time where I didn't see one of the chats. Someone was talking to me and I wasn't able to see it, so I just want to make sure that doesn't happen this time. So if I do miss your chat, don't think I'm intentionally doing that. I am trying to make sure I see all of them. That sometimes the chats don't come up in the window properly for whatever reason, so from last time we'll go out and have a look at where we sort of built up to. So we've changed a few things around, including the base, just to get things moving again. Just once this got to the fan on. Already heating up down here. So let's take a quick look see out over the base again. So I've added a few more turrets in, so just some automatic feed ones that we've got now added on this side here, just because there is a monolith up in that direction, and though most of my attacks have been coming from the section down here, I have had the odd one come from over there when I've been more over this side of the base for some reason. I'm not sure how that exactly works, but I've also had some issues where, being AFK, they've come in and somehow, I don't know whether the turrets down this side don't fire when you're near them or what happens, but somehow they're able to get all the way in through into the core of the base. So I've had to place some more turrets further in just so they don't shut down my core. So that's one of the changes I've made. We've added in definitely a few more machines, including a couple of these new amplifiers here. So you start off with the small amplifiers, which give you an extra 20 towards your core overheat level, which you can see at the top of the screen there. And then these larger ones down the back here, these give you an increase of 250, which is significant, which is why you can see now I've got almost 1,000 buffer in that core overheat now. So I've got a couple more over this side too. And as you can see, this whole section here from the last gameplay, so anything from sort of here, this whole section has all been added in as a new progress. This is mainly so that I can produce the intermediate building materials and some of the other materials just to progress other machines. So there's a lot of hold-ups in machines and how fast things can produce and how much material can get into each machine. So I've kind of started to move it all around more now, take resources from other areas to keep things moving rather than hit up on choke points. So, and some areas, like some of them can't keep up, as you can see that's not even full, it can't keep up with the production anymore of all the other machines, which I'll show you down this far end. So I'll head on down over this far end now. It's very confusing for other people. I could imagine just looking at my little spider web of things going on. It's gets a bit hectic, but once you understand it, then it's actually very simple. And I mean, this is all going to depend on how your OCD kicks in and how straight you want to keep everything. I mean, I'm more about function than anything, so everything here functions. Deleted a lot of my turrets along here. I've still got quite a few left here, replacing them with these automated turrets, and these automated turrets shoot a hell of a lot faster than these ones here, so it's definitely worth upgrading them. You don't require as many either, and being they can self-feed using my Mega Press here, which is making all my materials. I think it's this one here, so this one's making all the gun parts, and then they can just send out all the bullets to all the different turrets, so it's saving a lot of time. So as you can see, they're inside a different zone, so that's changing the overheat, which is also why I've built a bunch of things out in this far distance here, because it's putting it under the strain of another one, which by having these amplifiers this far out, these amplifiers overlap between that core and that core, which means this core over here, as you can see, also benefits. It's a level 1, but it's, instead of being stuck at 1,000, it's at 2,100, so it benefits from having the amplifiers within its range as well. So when it comes to building amplifiers and setting up your base, one of the things is going to be to make sure that you have overlap points so you can expand out and have the amplifiers in that middle section. So it's going to make a hell of a difference. So we'll move on. Obviously you've seen the mega presses from last time and all the different products that we've produced there, so batteries and everything else. More advanced, these electrical components. One of the further machines to build is the compounder. Now this one you get a bit later on. You've got the liquid helium producers. It is going to come into play, but it's not 100% required for a finish, I believe. We'll go look at the power cell core in a minute. Now you also got these assemblers, which I've got one running just making these accumulators at the moment. I haven't got anything else crafting because obviously everything is still currently locked, so a lot of these I'm waiting on blueprints for. And obviously you look at the parts in which they require to build a lot of these, and we're going to have to build a bunch more machine setups, so a bunch more lines. Can't just run it off the lines I've got, as it just won't keep up. This is also why I've done a fair bit of it just in the back end off stream, just because it's very tedious and time consuming running around setting up. And I mean, some of these setups take hours and hours and hours to build, which is obviously the fun of the game. Like that's what makes playing it fun, is setting all this up and getting all these new lines running, which is what I've done here. So this is producing those same coils, but this is to run into different machines as well. Then you've got my building materials producing, so they can produce into mega press to produce all the intermediate. So I've got plenty of these now. I mean, a lot of this has come down to having to overproduce electronics, and every other item and everything here is just purely built for feeding this machine. Splitters too, which are depending on what you're running things into. I did trial using these other joiners, which someone suggested, and they do make a bit of a difference, which I'll show you one right here. So I've got these other joints here, which these ones are handy because you can have the same way. They're a three-way split, but they can go in multiple directions. Now apparently you can also use these for multiple materials, so you can hook up other materials to also spread into the same machine through one line. So that's something handy to know for later. As you can see, I love using these triples because then I can send things off to multiple machines at once. So definitely something handy when you're crafting certain materials. This one doesn't require all of it. This machine's well and truly able to keep up with it. So then send it off to keep up with the second, maybe even a third machine, depending on what we're doing at the time. And again, like I said, I've had to build so many different lines, so even though I've got this material being crafted somewhere else, you're just not able to keep up with the demand of all the different types of machines that are going to need it. So eventually you're going to have to start preparing new lines for the same product to create multiple machines to keep up with the flow and the demand of everything. And as you can see, even some of these early machines, everything is still pumping out materials, feeding into other machines that then feed into other machines, so it's just a constant. So we're going to move into the end game of the early access. It's not the end of the game, it's the end of the early access itself. Anyway, so we're going to just get some of our food and buffs ready to head out. Leave the building materials here, so we don't require them.
Gotcha.
Just in case we have some problems. As you can see, I've got my pistol, not my shotgun, because every time you die in this game, you have to remake your weapons. So just be aware of that. Don't just go running straight back in, because you're not going to have the weapon you're after. While I'm here, I mean, you've got the different types of magazines here for the shotgun. Now, the increased fire rate, I mean, I don't run this because the damage drop off just doesn't seem to be worth it to me. It does fire faster, but I don't know, I just seem to have problems with that gun. It just doesn't seem to work for me. The increased magazine side, definitely worth it. the increased damage worth it, but the second you have the increased fire rate, the reload and the time between shots, I don't know, just something goes wrong with the gun. I'm not quite sure. Better build a machine gun in a second too, but we'll just quickly top up with some. So one of the ones I definitely recommend getting these, which is clear capsules, so doubles your natural toxicity loss. Now, 10 of them should be fine for what we're doing. The reason I like these is because once you start using some of these others with the buffs, right, they're going to add toxicity, as you can see there at the end of it. I'm going to stop my calorie and hydration loss, but I'm also going to gain 45 toxicity up. That's going to last for 30 minutes, so we want that toxicity to drop down, hopefully to 0 by the time I can reuse this blocker. So we're going to build some of them. One of the other good ones, which I don't know if I've got any materials for it right now. This one here, which I don't think I've got any certain route, but obviously getting that energy regeneration makes a huge difference. Now I'll show this in a tutorial video I'm doing at the moment, but the regeneration once you're using this is absolutely insane. It regenerates so quickly. You basically will do a run and a slide and you'll get a third of your energy back just from a quick slide, so it's definitely worth it. So I haven't farmed up enough of those materials just yet though. As you can see, I've definitely been out farming, but quite enough of that just yet. There's a level one which I'll take anyway, so we can use that. Just use this now. Boost up food, and then use.
Delicious.
The other reason I prefer to use these ones over the other ones, there are other ones that clear your toxicity, but all the other ones that clear toxicity also remove buffs. So obviously we want the buff, so the best way to do that is to have the one that removes, that doubles the natural regeneration of it rather than removing all the toxicity and buffs. So just showing here, you know, I've increased most of these up to level 10. There's still a few more levels we can get and a few more rewards, but nothing that is really required at this stage of the early access. Some of these LEMs are very good, which we definitely want, but again, not overly required right now. So the extra inventory space, nice, but that's just going to leave us a lot to build to be able to do that. So again, I'll come back and do that after, just to finalize everything here and have a bit of a play around with all of these different items. Most of this week is just sort of exploring all the different areas we can access in the early access, which it's a very large map and it takes a lot of time to get around the map too, obviously with the rupture events and everything else on the aliens. So, you know, I've spent my time just exploring along all the different radiation areas. A lot of this too is mountains that you can't really clear the side of, so I had to run along the side of them and can't get up and over them. But as you can see here, it takes us most of the way around this early section of the map. Now the map is obviously a lot larger than this. You can see there's a lot of zone to get into later still. And that's before they decide to add all these other things in, including some of the dungeons they've got in here, which is where we're going to be headed now. So we're going to be heading up to this zone here. This is the IRO. Before we head in there though, we do need to craft a power cell. Here we have the power cell here, and all we need to do 10 electronics and 10 chemicals, so we'll just go grab those now. Put a couple just to be sure and take them to the closer habitat than I've got over there. Now these are to unlock the door to the world engine, which is where we're going to finalize back maybe. We'll just take it now anyway. Just shut this down briefly. Some chemicals. That's just going to keep that filling up anyway. It'll catch itself up later. And like I said, trying to keep up with all the different material types is very difficult. So plants, I don't even know where one of them is.
Oh, nice.
Tell you what, these pictures definitely make it very handy to remember where you've placed everything over time. That's the transfer into the machine. As you can see, I've got two machines doing this, just trying to keep up with the demand of the electronic parts there. And then it's just still not enough to keep up. Just wait for a few more. Maybe getting something else for it, I'm not sure. So many different systems working off of it here. Down to this mission. I'm just going to different levels and attacks. I have done it helping out a mate. He did want some assistance getting this done, so.
I can use this.
There is something I did learn about going down to the final area, so I don't think it was the amplifiers. Can't remember. I'll take some as well. Okay, so they're not feeding here, so that's good. one here for the increased fire rate. And I have tested that out on the mate's one, and that honestly it is great. It does increase your fire rate dramatically, but the weapon is almost uncontrollable. It's great at short range, but otherwise terrible. So I generally don't use that because I like to run the shotgun anyway.
Changing mags.
Have it ready to go just in case.
I can use that.
Rupture activity detected. I recommend finding a safe place.
The white one is a 1 minute warning, yellow is 30 seconds, and obviously red comes up with a timer being 15 seconds.
Rupture's core is unstable. Head to safety immediately. Extreme temperature detected.
Now that we're ready, I'll give it a quick save. As you can see now, we're sort of hitting that 64-hour mark, so a lot of that time has been spent sort of AFK though, just letting things tick over. So whilst I'm going about other things around the house, I sort of generally let the game run just to tick off some of the machines making materials, because it can be quite timely. Again,
My butt is
spend your
sweating.
time just
My butt is
building more
sweating.
machines and more processes further around the map. It's really up to you how much time you want to spend doing that. I've only really focused around this area in the early access. Once the game does open to, you know, the full release, look at everything else, the animals, everything else they're adding in, I will probably spend time building more bases. I have noticed this area here is probably going to be one of the spots I'm thinking of building a secondary base. It's very large and open and flat just in this section here with materials all around to collect. So, you know, you've got your wolfram here, your titaniums, helium. Your sulfur fields aren't too far away. This one's a good farming spot for your hearts as well. And obviously some more titanium up
Planetary
here.
temperature within acceptable
So,
parameters.
definitely one that's worth it. You know, you could also run some machines just south down into here to get this one from up there as well if you want to. Now that this is done, we're going to head on up to the world engine. well. After we've had these rupture events, everything obviously is burnt away and there's no aliens, so best time to get into things is just after a rupture. Same if you're doing any of the buildings, looking for your blueprints. If you don't want to fight too many aliens, just want to get in, get your blueprints, get out, head there straight after a rupture. So especially the ones that have the level 5 aliens. If you're solo and you've got the level 5 aliens, they can be a little bit challenging. Once you've figured out the knack to them on sidestepping and shooting them in the rear, then it can be quite easy, but it does take a bit of practice. Feels like it takes forever around these maps, especially when you're doing it over and over and over again. So this is the most effective way of farming with these things, as obviously they only shoot off every 10 seconds, so you definitely have to have lots of them going to make it effective. If I was going to continue on more late game, I'd be coming back there and adding in another 4 of those to send back, so that each ore producer could just consistently send back the materials it's producing, just to keep the most amount of flow back at the base. Depending on how far you have to travel, the rails are definitely one of the most efficient. Obviously they just automatically keep up, so once they're connected and they've sent their feed out, they'll just consistently feed as per what the plant is requiring. So if they can keep up, they'll just keep sending materials at the rate in which it's using. If they're well and truly able to keep up, they'll just send the odd one bit of material here or there. So once you see that they're not sending much material, you can start adding other things into those lines as well. So now we're just going to head straight up north from this position. I believe there's a lake here with some oxalot. There we go.
Come to mama.
Not while we're here, but
what's good?
This only comes after a rupture. It's definitely worth grabbing. There are lots of lakes around the map with this now. I'm going to be doing a video on this as well, so the tutorial guide video will show everything from the beginning all the way through towards the end of the early access on what you can do and where to farm certain types of materials. So keep an eye out for that coming in the next week or so. I want to try and make sure the video captures as much detail around everything as possible, just to make your experience easier, especially if you're under time restraints, which a lot of people seem to be these days.
I think I can use this.
Always grab those. I don't know if this is going to have access to PlayStation or any other platforms eventually, but I have been asked by a few people. Again, I don't know. I'm not sure. I hope it does, because there's a lot of people I know that want to play this game on console. So, definitely be a good investment if it's easy for them to make it to suit both. Cross-platform games are definitely the way to go in my opinion. I think every game that does do cross-platform performs drastically better. I'm not a coder, so I wouldn't have a clue how much extra work goes into all that, but if you can, you should. Let's pick this regeneration chain for now, just to be safe. As I said, I'm just going to plug a few things here, just in case things go wrong. We've got some stuff to come grab. Don't really need these. Okay, leave one of these here, just in case. Take that with me. Don't need those. Because if you do get down, you're going to have to come to this bench to make yourself those weapons like we said. So normally when I set one of these up, I make sure I've got the weapons bench, the food bench, your general processor for building materials, and I always keep this here as well, just in case you collect materials and you want to quickly update things, and this is always helpful in them, just so you can get rid of these items as well, because obviously they're only for that analytic side of things. Let's head on down to this world engine. Hopefully we can get there before the respawn starts. So this is an area that does have its own little base, as it were. Just in this bottom section here. Again, not doing it because I don't really need the blueprints just at this stage. I was looking around to see if blueprints came from specific locations, but was unable to determine if that was a yes or a no, as I found the same blueprint in multiple locations. So if it is a random generated blueprint in each one, it may be generated based on where you're at and what you need, but it also could be that it's just, like I said, just literally just random on what's at each one. I believe that it would be set locations, being a role-playing game, because if it was RNG based, you would have to, you wouldn't be able to get everything, which would obviously stop your growth. So and here we are coming up to the world engine. So when you are playing through the early access, the closer you get to this and do different habitats, so like this space here, the IROSO. The next step, once you head into bases like this or other ones up here that are larger, so around this satellite and that, they start hinting at the world engine, and the game will prompt you and tell you, yes, we're going to work on the world engine, we're going to restart it, all this stuff. So when you head up towards the world engine, you're going to look around, chase pipes or whatever, but there's this broken grate here in which you can come on in.
Can't help you right now. Just wait.
I bet the batteries come loose.
Jimmy, all systems are going haywire and you're not a licensed electrician. Just wait and don't touch anything.
It's fine. It has to be the battery.
Jimmy? Jim?
Well, that sucks. Oh, yeah, the accumulator, so we do need these, so... Like
the
Rupture
is in its stable stage. The climate of Arcadia is returning to normal.
A battery. I'll need it to open the door.
have managed to find a way into the Forgotten Engine. Remember that everything you see here is highly classified. Your contract stipulates that you may only divulge this information to the Claywood Corporation.
There we go. Just because I've got the one set outside that's got the materials.
Simon, I can't. We've got procedures. Please, please, please.
It smells musty, but it's good not seeing Ruptura for a change. And it's nice and cool in here.
Do we know why it's not working?
I bet they ran out of money. It's always about money with things like this.
You hit the nail right on the head. It turns out, terraforming a planet in an alien galaxy is not the best investment.
Who would have thought?
That money could have been put to better use.
What are you all talking about? The creation of another habitable planet should be the priority for any species. The IRO made a big mistake closing this project down.
You now have a chance to find out why the project is kept a secret.
I can't escape without her. Here's the disc. Just click the stuff. What? Where'd you get that? Man, take it back to the storeroom. I need to report this. Report it? Did you see what's going on out there? Who do you want to report this to? Print me one sleeve. One!
Let's see.
Open this! Close the entrance immediately! It's not working! Kill it! They can't get inside! There's too many of them! Blow it up! Blow it up!
Why would they block the entrance themselves? They condemn themselves to death. Oh, yes.
To everyone, don't into the cloud. Something's in. Monkey is broken. The shield.
Removes all buffs. Use that.
Since I'm already talking to myself, I might as well record it. Maybe someone will find this useful. How could the IRO let this happen? This mission was one of its top priority projects. I don't believe the government could be this incompetent. Something must have gone wrong. Someone else is to blame. I don't trust that logistician. He was always up to something behind our backs. I don't believe the IRO would leave us here to die. Only emergency lighting is on. That's good.
Okay, so we need to turn the power back on. I bet you 100 UC the generator is somewhere down below.
Good luck finding someone to take that bet. Of course it's on the logistics level.
Since we're both sure, let's go then.
Means they've turned off most of the power. According to Dr. Vaughn, those monsters are drawn to electricity and use it to reproduce. Cutting them off from it should slow them down.
Great. Not only does it stink, the infection will also mess with our gear. Main disk storage. They kept everyone's disks here. Were they all...
I don't know if all of them were, but the vermin certainly got in here.
Oh, God.
No use in crying. We need to search this place.
You're heartless.
Give it a rest. Had they been useful, they wouldn't have ended up in here.
Cut it out! The victims deserve our respect.
The stream is currently going through the world engine to the end of this early access.
I don't understand these results. According to the calculations, the atmosphere should have attained optimal composition by now. But the changes are too drastic. I don't understand what I did wrong.
This is only the first stage of terraforming. We need to gather more data.
Will that really help? The theoretical models worked. But in practice, we don't really understand Ruptura's influence on the atmosphere. There are too many...
Hey, Gal. What does this Forgotten Engine actually do?
The Forgotten Engine served as terraforming machines. Each one was built for a different task. I have an inclination what this one was for, but due to the lack of information, I don't want to get your hopes up. If I did, and you fail, the failure would impact your mental well-being more negatively, and the quality of your services might suffer.
variables, too many unknowns. My assumptions were too optimistic. Peter! Do you copy? Peter! Fuck, it's closed. Are you still there? Answer me! I tried to come as soon as I got your message, but the generator went down. Peter, answer me! Peter! I hope your audio comm just broke. Hang in there. I'm going to -2. Maybe I can turn the generator back on manually. Fuck! Fuck! Fuck!
Darn, that's a lot of infection. That was close. I can use this.
I'm letting you know this conversation is being recorded.
Like every other conversation in this place.
I'm letting you know this conversation is being recorded. Aiden Patel, head logistician. This is an official reprimand for the engineer present here, Luca Costa. Mr. Costa, based on your previous behavior and numerous warnings, I am unfortunately forced to fine you and suspend you from your responsibilities indefinitely.
Aiden, come on.
The regulations leave me no choice. I would also prefer to be addressed formally.
You can't suspend me. I'm not going into a drawer for God knows how long.
As the leader of this mission and an IRO representative, I am well within my rights, in accordance with regulations, more specifically paragraph...
Stop with those regulations. I mean, okay, give me the fine, but for God's sake, don't suspend me.
Mr. Costa, I have already warned you more than once. I also have reason to believe that you are in contact with parties directly threatening the interests of not only the mission, but the entire IRO.
Nothing like that ever happened.
I have a list of your emails here. You contacted a certain William Claywood, wanted for...
What? You have no right.
According to the regulations that apply to you as well, in the case of justified suspicions, I have the right to access correspondence of my subordinates.
And what the fuck was I supposed to do? Wait for us all to die of starvation? You already put people into drawers, and yet we still have no supplies.
So this is where His Excellency, the boss of this place, held office.
I did it for all of us.
I am revoking your access to a body, as your role is not considered essential to the mission. You have time until tomorrow. Please report to the disk storeroom at 1200 mission time, in order for the procedure to be performed.
Aiden, you're kidding, right? Don't do this to me, come on!
You can file a complaint to any IRO space outpost. When I agreed to take the role of head logistician of the IRO mission to the Ruptura system, I considered it a great opportunity and a great honor. I didn't expect the mission to end in such terrible tragedy. I believed that placing the discs inside the storeroom was the best solution. I could blame the IRO, say that they didn't give me a choice. But ultimately, it was my decision. I could have predicted that the monsters would attack the storeroom with the discs. I could have secured it better. I made too many mistakes. I take full responsibility for the deaths of those people. True deaths. I'm sorry for everything.
That's just what I need.
That one's useful.
What is that? I think I'm gonna be sick. Gal, we've reached the generator.
Good work. Now find a way to turn it on.
It's too quiet in here.
We need to use that quiet. Let's start destroying the tumors.
According to my
I have read all
analysis,
these.
despite only the power generator being on, there should be enough power in the Forgotten Engine to get it started. If everything goes according to plan, of course.
I'd be surprised if everything went according to plan. Let's see.
Only drops off your shield, it doesn't actually attack your health, so
access to the technical. Well, I'll be. That's a big room. Oh, yes.
Everyone's still alive. I'm trying to fix the main engine. It shouldn't work. This fucking computer should be working.
Darn it all. Of course it's not working. Places like this have to be self-sufficient. If we look hard enough, we're bound to find a spare core.
If I were responsible for the construction of this place, I'd keep the core on the technical level.
I did everything right. Sorry. This is all my fault.
Back to the tech level.
I damaged the core. Those monsters cut me off. If anyone with access to the technical storeroom is listening to this, we need a new core. I'm sorry. There's really nothing else I can do. I really didn't mean for this to happen. It wasn't supposed to be like this. I'll try one.
Okay, if I were a core, where would I hide?
That's just a straight through anyway.
Gotcha.
Looks like our room.
Very clever of them, I have to admit. Impressive piece of technology.
Come here. Try and make
Looks
as
like
many of
you
these.
have what you need to activate the Forgotten Engine. Proceed to the control center.
Alrighty, time to turn this beast on.
Multiple, you're gonna need
Finally.
one.
Okay, I'm switching to my professional
Helping a
mode.
friend make his.
Considering how infected the control center
70,000
was,
points
we need
each.
to be prepared. Nice. We can create the core here.
So taking these out to get all your stuff done at the end of the game is definitely worth it. So find some more generators and cores and make another one.
Hello, Dr. Kelsey? I've noticed interesting behavior among the aliens. You should know about this.
What exactly?
It could help us hide from them if we ever need to. They are clearly drawn to electricity.
Fascinating news. But shouldn't you be working on optimizing our energy consumption right now?
Yes, of course. I think that they feed on it somehow. And they probably use it to reproduce. That's why, during an attack, we should turn off as many power sources as we can. Maybe they will then lose interest in the base.
What attack? We have a whole defense system around us. Get back to work.
It's just that it'd be good to have a plan for worst-case scenario.
There are plans for that, but it's not our business. Logistics takes care of such procedures. If you really want to look into this, fine. But in your free time...
Of course.
Sleep. Over.
It was. Why are you calling?
Because I can't. The empty hallways are scaring me. Almost everyone has been put to sleep already.
That's why you woke me up? Why are you surprised? More convenient for the IRO this way than to send out a ship for us. Maybe one day they'll retrieve the discs, or maybe they won't. At least the higher-ups won't have to listen to us plead for help.
There's really nothing we can do?
If they won't listen to reason, we need to damage the main computer. The engine will fail, the atmosphere will begin to change again, and that will endanger the other bases. The IRO will have to react.
Won't that also deactivate the security system? We'll be left wide open to the vermin.
Relax. As long as we stay locked up in here, we'll be safe. Besides, I'd do it so that the computer could be quickly fixed again, just in case. We've got everything we need in the technical storeroom.
I don't know. Maybe we should talk to Aiden about this.
In the morning, Mason. Go to sleep.
Find that room again. Craft some more. And maps down here. Read the one on the wall. Map set it. That's handy. One generator short.
Oh, nice.
Well, I'm not going to drag this on for you, so I'll head back down to the main deck. Yeah, you can drag out looking for some more. Get that can craft these two, so I am in the middle of crafting them, so might come back here after and bring a few, make them. Just for the points.
This will help. Applying med tool.
It's nice once you've got the extra levels to really boost that health up.
Okay, we have the core. Gal, is there anything we should know about?
My data does not factor in the condition the engine is currently in. If nothing unexpected happens, the engine should activate.
Let's activate this heap of junk.
Good luck.
Ha!
I think we get it back anyway at the end.
Let's do this.
Commencing engine activation sequence.
I don't believe it.
Die here.
That was easy.
10%.
That circle could fill up faster.
I don't know if this increases based on how many people are in the map, so if there's duos, you get more bugs, trios, etc. I believe it does increase.
Warning. Alien life forms detected.
I knew it.
Initialization interrupted. Entering quarantine mode.
Time to fight. Good to know the countdown didn't reset.
Resuming engine activation sequence.
That be fun?
It's a big machine. No wonder it attracted so many vermin. I can use this.
%.
We're halfway there.
%. Warning. Alien life forms detected.
Oh no, again?
Initialization interrupted. Entering quarantine mode. No alien life forms detected. Deactivating quarantine mode.
It's getting worse, but there's not much left to go.
It was a hell of a lot come at us, so obviously that does play a part in it as well.
80%.
I bet it'll stop at 99%.
It's always 99%. Always wants to stop at 99%, doesn't it?
90%.
Fill up faster!
95%. Commencing final sequence. Warning. Alien life forms detected.
Oh, it wasn't 99%.
Initialization interrupted. Entering quarantine mode.
heat splash from such confined space, that could be...
No alien life forms detected. Deactivating quarantine mode.
Only 2% left.
There you have it. So, as it says, this is the end of the early access build of this game, but obviously they've got a lot more content that comes out after this. I mean, I've kind of still rushed to getting to this point. I wouldn't say I've rushed as early as some people have. Some people have done it's like 20 hours in the game. I'm at 60 hours. I've spent a lot more time building and going through the different aspects, exploring and having fun with the game. So, I mean, there's still a lot more that I can build, and I know now that I've finished this, it's given us even more buildings to build, including a spoiler here, but it gives you a teleporter, so you can build a teleporter between bases, which is going to be super handy later on, especially when they do the full release of the game. So, hope you have enjoyed this stream. I'm going to continue on, but this is the end of the early access. Really, there's not much
Initialization complete.
going on here.
Commencing hydrogen compound release. Test complete. All systems at 24% efficiency. World engine activated.
We did it!
Atmospheric test. Concentration of hydrogen compounds increased by 4%. Background radiation in area G4 reduced by 62%. Congratulations, you did it. You are the first people in 60 years to have been able to activate the Forgotten engine. You should be very proud.
Mother trucker, it's over. We did it.
I think this is a great moment to finally swear, Maeve.
Why not? Ready?
Is that it?
Baby steps, Han. I'll drop the F-bomb once we've regained our freedom.
Okay, my dears. Time to get back to work.
And the whole moment is ruined.
Warning. The planet is being incinerated.
So curious to see what else they've got planned for us. this isn't going to fully terraform the planet, so I'm sure there is a lot more involved in doing that, which will include all the buildings and all the factories we've got to make along the way. So again, really looking forward to the full access game, not just the early access, but if you can get 60 hours out of the early access quite comfortably without milking it, I mean, I see the full release having a hell of a lot more content and a lot more opportunity. Go in there.
Uh-oh. So much for the quiet.
Definitely hanging for the full release now. I don't know how long it's going to be, so I just have to keep up with the news, and I'll post on my YouTube about that. So if there's something you're playing or going to play, I'll keep the news updated as much as possible on it. And we'll head back up and take our goodies back to the base. Drop off at the save it here just in case I do something stupid on the way out. Get overrun by a couple of level 5 bugs. Done that before by mistake. If you haven't dealt with those level 5 bugs yet. Not overly difficult, but on your own they're challenging. Once you get 2 or 3 it becomes extremely challenging. Right though, because we just had the rupture event, so there shouldn't be anything out here to attack me until the respawn part of the rupture. It's kind of good timing, really. There's the main base just down below that I've still got to do, but not really required right now. Not sure if I did or didn't do it actually. Maybe I did. But the blueprints I needed were from inside that we just got, so again, not required for anything specific. Obviously they're going to be required for whatever you do after you've completed the world engine. As it's stated, normally when you do this part of the access of the world engine, it changes the atmosphere and changes the radiation zones and allows you to explore further. So it doesn't actually allow us to do that now because it's the early access game. They've just kept it so it doesn't open that up.
Interesting.
Oh, there's the $70,000 one. So it's that. It's giving us the 70,000 points where I was told it was that. So that's good. The other thing you can do too, I mean, it's a bit of a cheat, bit of an exploit, right? But if you get your mate to save his world, you can save these. Because what's in your inventory stays in your inventory when you log in and out of his game. Not quite enough points to upgrade any of my stuff right now, but we can just let it all slowly tick over and start looking at new build machines now. Change up some of the... What's this one? Load? Nah. That's handy, but wouldn't say it's necessary. Definitely probably put that one on maximum stamina. That definitely helps when you're running around the world outside. Like I said, put some things here. So this is all set up ready to go just in case I want to do anything else from this point here. I try and set up a lot of them now that I'm a bit further through with bullets and other stuff and a lot of building materials so you can rebuild a shotgun or whatever you need. So
I'm really not happy about what happened in the Forgotten Engine.
A terrible tragedy. I can't even believe it.
I didn't think you'd care this much.
How could someone just abandon such valuable research?
I was talking about the people.
People weren't properly trained. They made many mistakes while defending themselves.
The corporations left them here to die. It wasn't their fault. You both have issues.
See how fast that energy comes back once you got the energy food on. Pretty much permanent. Just a quick slide just to keep yourself.
Come to Mama. Looks good. Good stuff.
I used it when I was running around the different areas, especially when I wanted just to run and get away from all the aliens rather than fighting everything. You could run, just about run out of energy. Quick slides here and there, and just don't worry about fighting them at all. These ones are important because these are the ones that you use to make all of the specific timed buffs. All the better ones. That and Serpent Root, which I've got to go farm some of because I'm really low on that. Well, actually out. And that uses a lot of it. So there's some in here, but the majority I farm is generally in this section. Up here. This is a good section for farming that Serpent Root all the way up, so it'll grow anywhere in this rocky section all the way up to the top. I'll head up there actually soon. What have we got to take? I'll take these back to the main base and then we'll head up there. There's an area that I do want to build in anyway as a secondary area. Lots of materials to get some other main materials flowing again. But I can set up some of the newer, bigger setups up there and then just airlift or orbit lift all the stuff back to the main base to keep going. Unlock the teleporter. Oh yeah, there it is there. Going for the Stargate look, I guess. Definitely build one of these and build a second base. As you've seen, it requires the quartz materials to build, so just keep farming those quartz every time you can get into a one of these caves. Go into it just after Rupture and keep collecting the quartz. Not actually sure if it respawns. I've noticed a lot of caves I go back into don't seem to have the quartz. They have the glow cap but not the quartz, so I really don't know.
My head's spinning.
Toxicity will only come down once I've got the double reduction on, so nothing to worry about. Just keep powering through for now. And you can collect these grubblers at night as well. You don't see them, but the glow's there, so they can be collected.
Looks good.
I mean, most of the food in this is pretty good.
Good stuff.
To make, so it's more getting the larger amounts of materials you need to unlock the recipes, which is the challenge. Once you've unlocked them, it's pretty quick. Oh.
Come to Mama.
Starts here is definitely, if you see them, grab them. They're probably probably one of the harder ones to farm. I haven't found any specific areas to farm lots of them yet. Everything else has a lot of large pools, but the star tiers seem to be pretty much sporadically everywhere, just on random rocks. So see them, grab them. That's definitely my advice if you're starting to play, or you're playing at the moment and running around. Grab every single plant you can. Whenever you go past it, just keep inventory space free so you can grab at least one stack of each plant. Now, I haven't tested this yet, whether you can get trapped in these when the respawn happens. So that's something to be curious about, because obviously it grows back over. Whether that's going to trap you inside or not. Let's find out, eh? There you go, the quartz does come back, but I really don't know what the time frame is on how long it takes to come back.
Ruptura status, stable. Arcadia status, stable. What do you reckon, chat? Do we want to wait here and just see if it traps us in or not? Once it starts growing back, don't have to wait long at all. So all I'll do is just quickly reload it if it grows back. It's crazy. And look at that, it does trap you in. So there you go. So if you do one of these, you're gonna get trapped in. I don't know if you can do something to get out of it. There you go. Shoot the heart. Wonder if that's gonna make it grow back or permanently stay open and burn now though. My one's close to the base, so I'll be able to check it later. Oh, there it goes. That being said, look at that. That's a neat little trick to learn. So even after they've grown back, you can just shoot that, get in and out of it. It's very handy to know. Well, hopefully you just learned something new, because I definitely did. Arcadia 7 has finished regenerating.
Looks good. Good stuff.
After this attack happens, actually, I'm going to upgrade the base. I was waiting for the stream with you guys, so we'll get ready for level 5, so we'll do that. final stage of the early access. So it doesn't mean it stops your game. You can still, once you do it, you can still come back and continue building and playing and exploring and doing things, which is great. So I just want to put some time into this base, potentially redoing a new base and having a play around it, potentially better setups. So we've done that. So now what we can do all these here and start this next base attack for level 5.
Let's see.
Keep upgrading. Yeah, if you do fight these, if you haven't fought them yet, that's where you want to go. In the rump. So you can shoot them in the legs or the bum. Anywhere else, they're just armored, so kind of happens a bit too easy. And a few too many turrets, so as you can see though, it doesn't just spawn out of them unless they do depends on the time frame. Sometimes I have them spawn all the way down here on the edge and I've got to go attract them to the base. Sometimes it's just a little bit further up, but there, on the random occasion, as you can see, it just pushes them right up to the base. Which, if they do spawn here and you're not here to react, what's going to happen is they're going to infest all of these turrets straight off the bat, and then it's going to walk through your base. You know what I mean? With the amount of lift there, without your turrets, I don't think you're really going to be able to run around with your shotgun or assault rifle fighting them off very well. Batteries, which it needs chemicals for, and obviously these as well. Six though, maybe there's a little screecher. I haven't seen one out there, so. Pretty sure it said go until needed.
Oh, yes.
Work towards that together. Just did that increase. Oh. 2,000, there's lots of wind to build in that.
Interesting. Useful information.
Those two. Go with the red more than anything, so. Not so much need this one's going to be more beneficial, I think, just being you can hold multiple types, so you can just feed all of your different items into it to feed one machine. So rather than having all these different storages to hold a material that's going into one machine to produce another item, you can just use it to hold it. And then obviously you can still branch that out to other ones. Anyway, let's go build ourselves a teleporter. thing I did read when putting these in was it says that you can teleport to any other teleporter. So wherever you build another teleporter, you can basically click this and teleport to. So I'll start prioritising where I want to build another one. So I've got enough materials to build quite a few of them, so it's not like it's going to be an issue. I reckon I'm going to build another one here, and there is so much oxalate up in here. I'll probably build one somewhere up in here as well. So I want to be close to this. So I'm probably going to build. I've got a habitat there, but this is where I want to build my next mega structures area, somewhere up in here. So I might take that now, start something up here just so you guys can see what that looks like. Why not, right?
Oh, gotcha.
Anything too, you just make some all these quartz. It's just simply having some quartz to do with. To cost a fair chunk of these, but how much really worth it? So that's about 500 there. Take these up to the new base we're planning on building. May as well take shotgun ammo as well. Too much, but we have to. Once I do this, I won't have to run back. It's the best way. I don't want to go through there anyway. Collect some of the serpent. Hope you're all enjoying it so far. Hope you've learnt one or two things. Maybe seen if it's the game for you, something you want to enjoy doing. As I've said previously, building near these water sources for collecting the water lilies that you need for your hydration. Obviously that stops anything from respawning, so wherever you build, if there's some sort of plant or whatever nearby, it doesn't reproduce or come back once you've built near it, so keep that in mind. Hard to build a base without a metal core, without one of the cores from that. Being I did forget to grab one. base, I generally grab one regardless, just that way if you're out and about and all of a sudden you've got a rupture event, you've got 1 minute once you get that warning to place down a base and start building, so... Definitely can't wait to have more of these teleporters around.
Come to Mama.
Now they're not hard to farm, that's what I'm behind the most on, but that's mainly because I haven't really been in this sort of rocky area. I haven't really needed to be, so... It all depends the directions in which you head to. Being I was after the Oxalop a lot, I was heading in a completely different direction, so... You can see in these in the distance here, these little bulbs you can see that just stand out. They're actually them, so if you see them, you know which way to run towards. So they don't quite load in, but for some reason the bulb part of
Good stuff.
Loads in very bright at a distance, so...
Looks good.
A little trick if you're looking for them. Sort of keep an eye out for that. Sound, that's just me saving clips for later, so just put together some guides.
My head's spinning.
Let's see one up there, but keep moving towards where we want to build. Just a little bit further. So up here's where I'm going. I do hope that in future they add some sort of direction.
Come to Mama.
Some sort of compass of some sort. I get it's an alien planet, you know, there's no North Pole, South Pole, that sort of stuff to have the compass for, but it's just more as a gamer having some sort of directional, definitely helps.
Good stuff. Looks good.
Soul hearts too while we're there. Definitely never have enough of them. Matter if it hits that top. If it does, if you do cap it all the way, I don't stress. It's just going to start making you take damage, so just head straight back out. You'll be fine. Well, I'm hoping you'll be fine. I haven't died from it yet, so I don't believe you will either. doing some more streams too on Arc Raiders coming up, so if that is something you've been playing or interested in following me for as well, so I'll be doing some on that. Either in solos or duos, depending who's on. Sometimes trios. I don't do a lot of the sweatier lobbies. Generally my solos are the chill runs, sharing stuff with people and having fun, so that's how I like to play it for the most part. Share blueprints, share weapons, just have fun.
Good stuff.
Me then, so it's jumping off based on the good formation. These heliums to transport them straight up via rail. We have to put another core for that. We have to do two. One to cover. To cover up there, it's going to be up there somewhere. It's not going to cover up there. And that, and build a second one. That slight bit of overlap we're talking about, if possible. It's not going to cover no matter what it does. Like I said, probably going to have to build constant, bunch of constant turrets out here to keep that going properly. What I wanted to do before. we? Once this happens, we'll test the test it out and then go from there. Interesting. Not sure what the stream's looking like on your end. It's just stuffing up on my phone for some reason. It's rather interesting. So good to know. So I was just watching the stream come back through. I use the phone to watch Twitch and the stream at the moment because I'm going to get another screen added soon for that. But yeah, it's just interesting to watch it. Having issues with it. So the screen itself is locking up on the phone for some reason. All the rest of it, everything's fine. So I'm watching it feedback through. On the other ones, I'm not having the same issue, so I'm not really sure what's going on there. Let's test this out. So there you go, like, you'd have to name them, so this one. So we can name this Outpost 1. Beautiful straight back. Doesn't name those, so. Thanks as always for tuning in. I will do Star Rupture again. Make sure they get enough, but I'll do some more on Star Rupture again soon. Obviously, the early access is finished, but they've already announced a lot of releases they're going to do during the early access. So as they update the game, I'll jump on and go through all these updates and sort of share them with you. So if you haven't got the game yet, you're still not sure my thoughts on the game, I reckon it's definitely worth getting even at this early stage. Like I said, we've put in about 65 hours now, I think. Let's go to the save. Yep, 66 hours. So, you know, it's definitely worth almost 67 hours. So it's definitely worth the $20, $30, whatever it is, to get the game. I'm probably going to buy the supporter package just to help the devs out. It's a very small indie game, so I do want to support them in getting the game further along. Definitely has a lot of potential, definitely has a lot of fun. The fact that it's co-op and you can jump in with your buddies and play this is great. Once you've got the teleporters, you know, you can start building your own bases. So one of you can have a base further out built somewhere, put a teleporter, and you can just kind of have different base setups for each of you. You know, you can just delegate who's building what where, and kind of work together, which would be fantastic. So yeah, definitely a lot of potential this game. Again, hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for, like I said, more Star Rupture. There'll be some going on with Arc Raiders later this week, and I've also got a little vote up on the YouTube there, just in the polls. So jump on that, just looking at a couple of games that I'm looking at playing and streaming, and doing some tutorial videos on and some guides. So if any of those tickle your fancy, don't forget to vote. If none of them tickle your fancy, but there's something else there that you want to see, as I've stated, throw your comments in that as well. Let us know some of the games you know coming out that you'd want to see, so I'm happy to do that. As always, happy gaming. Look forward to seeing you on the next stream.